Bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about bros and heroes. Gonna tell you about comic books,
Costumes,
facts, boots,
and other stuff.
in this week's issue. Madame Fatal.
Welcome into Bros, Foes, and Heroes. I am Zach, joined by the Lita Adebayo to my John Economist,
Wow.
Mr. Mike.
Nice job.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was good.
I was trying to think
good.
on the fly, and it's a two for reference because last week we talked about Peacemaker.
We did. Mm-hmm.
Granted, those two characters do not appear in the comic,
Yeah.
but they do appear in the TV show, which
Yeah.
we will talk about some towards
Right.
the end of this episode after we get done with our character for the day.
I think it's a really good tie to Suicide Squad. I think they've done a good job there.
It's fantastic. So hang on. We are going to talk about that. This is also, though, the only time I'm going to say this. If you haven't seen it and you don't want to hear about it, know that it comes at the end because we're just going to talk about it all.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's fair.
until we get to that point of the show, I have another character
Yeah.
for us to dive into.
I'm excited about this one.
First of all, I guess let's get I don't know what I was doing, jumping right into the character. I know how the show works. We usually, BS for a little bit before we do that.
Right.
So apologies, I guess, to your Titans not being in the.
That's all right. Like I say, if you get 9 sacks and you can't win a game, then something ain't right.
Yeah, and then you texted me a statement, which is funny enough and true for both Titans and Texans fans in a way. I assume it's just that the Oilers prepared me for that, which is right on.
Yeah, grew up a Houston Oilers fan, and disappointment was the name of that game.
That's true. So then, obviously, if you're a Houston Oilers fan, you're probably a fan of this show too, and you get how disappointment
Because they go hand in hand, comic books and Houston Oilers. Whoa, boy.
or at least listening to us and being, oh man, if only I just weren't so good at the self-deprivation humor, my my self-esteem might be a little bit better. But either way, I just felt I'd ask to check in on you with the Titans.
Oh, no,
but
we're good. It comes with the territory. There's always next year,
that's true. That's
until we all die.
I think, I think that can be your response for anything.
Sure.
There's always next year.
Well, you and I had that talk just a little while ago about how sports becomes life for people.
Oh, yeah.
And these people on this field could not care less about you and I.
No.
And so, it's not like my grandma died or, my dog got run over or anything. It's freaking sports team lost.
I get that it's a game, but if people were cheering me on at work and I messed up, like
that's right.
I'm more concerned about what I did there on the field than them cheering.
That's
So,
right.
but enough sports talk, I
we
guess.
filed it incorrectly.
It would help if you didn't look over my shoulder, Shannon.
That's right. Shannon.
I don't know. It's the first name I could come up with.
That's a good one. Yeah.
If you're a Shannon out there who doesn't look over people's shoulders, then that wasn't directed towards you.
Then you're different than all the other
You're a
Shannons.
different
That's
Shannon.
Right.
So
You're the good kind of Shannon.
let's go ahead, and this is going to be a callback in a sense, just because we've talked about Crack Comics.
Crack Comics.
It was a thicker comic book that they put multiple stories in. It was kind of like a collection of different stories.
like an anthology.
Exactly. And we had brought up Crack Comics before because that is where Black Condor first appeared.
Black Condor.
And we remember how great Black Condor was.
The man that taught himself to fly.
Yes, and to communicate with birds. And pretended to be
And monks.
And pretended to be a U.S. senator and just basically takes that dude's wife.
That's right. Sure. Yeah.
And her father knows and is cool with it.
Yeah. He's much better.
Oh, yeah. I didn't like your previous husband, but now it took care of itself.
this
and I don't
guy's
have to say
all right,
anything. Yeah. Another character.
Did we have grandkids? No.
That's fine. Yeah. Another comic character to come from those Crack Comics, which were all produced by Quality that DC ended up buying.
What kind of time frame are we talking about here?
We are talking about the 1940s again.
All right, fantastic.
And
everything was good in the 40s.
It was.
Is what I read in my history books.
That's what I remember. Yeah, it's like it was bad. There was like war. Oh no, that was in the 40s too.
All people were equal. Everything was great.
Oh yeah. No, that if you could go back into a time where everything was on the up and up, it was the 40s.
Yeah. Can't get enough of those flappers.
Well, I thought that was the 20s.
Maybe it was. I don't know. Can't get enough of those old flappers.
Or those really young hippies.
That's true. Yeah. Baby hippies.
Yeah. So, Madame Fatal is the character we're going to talk about today.
Yeah. And we did go back and forth whether it's Fatal or Fatal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm going to assume it's
Fatal
just because it's, Madame. It could be Madame Fatal.
We don't want the French mad at us.
Yeah. I'm trying to use the word correctly. They tell me I'm mispronouncing it, but it's up to you. Madame Fatal, Madame Fatal.
I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go with you on Fatal.
It was created by Art Pinajian.
Oh.
Pinajian.
Oh, then it's definitely Fatal.
Yeah. Pinajian. If I butchered that, I do apologize, but wanted to give credit to where it was. Mm-hmm. Let me tell you about this character.
Yeah.
Because I'll put it like this. So, Madame Fatal appeared in Crack Comics issue number 1 through 22.
Okay.
Nice little run.
Mm-hmm.
The problem was, here we go. The spelling of the character's name has sometimes been given as Madame Fatal, Madame Fatal with the E. Like, it's spelled all the different ways, so they didn't even know how to do it.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. But this comic did not do so great upon its release. And after the story kind of wrapped up, they quit doing it. And I can explain to you why. I think very simple. First, let's focus on the powers and abilities. And as I showed you, Madame Fatal is an old woman.
Okay. Yeah. We're talking 70s, probably
80s,
70s, 80s.
I mean, she looks old.
Okay.
But she has no powers, but she wielded a cane as a weapon and was a skilled actor and master of disguise, because Madame Fatal is not a woman.
Yes.
It is a man dressed up as an old woman.
Okay. So I'm sorry. I got a little ahead of you here, and I did look up something and it popped up. Yeah.
I try to bury the lead and Mike goes and finds it.
This is pretty fantastic. Yeah, honestly.
Yeah. So I picked Madame Fatal because
sorry, I just showed him a picture of an episode or a issue of Undercover Crossdressers.
Again, the 40s were a different time.
Yeah, it was a weird time, sure.
Where we can make a superhero just because a dude wears women's clothes.
Yeah. And you got to make him old.
Really, it's not really. So the background behind this, because it does take a little explanation.
Sure.
So Richard Stanton is the guy.
This takes a little explanation?
A little bit, just a smidge.
All right.
Richard Stanton.
Yeah.
Right? He's he makes he gets wealthy playing the stock market in the 30s, which everybody will know is right after the Great Depression.
I'm sorry, I almost vomited my coffee.
I know. But everybody's mad at him because he's able to, create wealth. The reason everybody's mad at him is because they're stuck in a depression and somehow he can make money while they're having to wait in bread and soup lines. That's why.
He rents potatoes.
He's also an actor and like a stage actor.
Ah, here we go.
But through, I guess, people being jealous of him in a sense, he becomes the target of a local crime gang.
Okay.
Or crime syndicate, whatever you want to put it.
Trying to get his hot stock tips.
And his daughter is kidnapped.
Oh, no.
The shock of their kid being kidnapped ends up giving his wife a heart attack.
Oh, my God.
And she ends up dying.
Wow.
So he is now,
story so far.
Richard is now a widow and his daughter's been kidnapped.
Richard is now a widow.
Is now a widow.
Well, I mean,
I'm saying Madame Fatal is a widow,
that's what I'm saying.
Richard's a widower. My bad.
Okay, all right. No, it's not your bad. It could be either way. It's like Fatal or Fatal.
He comes up with this plan to infiltrate the gang. He quits doing theater. I'm sorry. He's decided the stage is too much with all I have going on in my life.
Yeah, right.
So he decides, that the best way for him to infiltrate, I guess, these shady people is by dressing up as a harmless old lady.
Okay. So far, this sounds like a Elmer Fudd plot. You know?
Yeah. he finds out, and I'm just reading the basic thing here because we don't really need to get into specifics because
probably not the weeds here.
Yeah, we just need to focus on what's going on with this character. It takes him 8 years, right?
Okay.
He's looking for his daughter for 8 years.
All right.
Trying to find her, dressed up as an old woman. You would think maybe maybe a different disguise would help me. Mm-hmm. But I guess he sticks with it.
Yeah, you got to figure at some, like, if it's 8 years, maybe at year 5, you start to doubt a little bit, Oh, yeah. But no, he's like, should I be one of those organ grinders with a monkey? Maybe that'll be better.
Should I go back to theater?
Yeah.
I could use Hamlet. Did you know that actually in stage productions of Hamlet, they use real human skulls in a lot of cases?
Really?
Like people will, I don't know if like they will it away or ask like as a, like artsy people, like, can my skull be used in a production of?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's true dedication right there.
Yeah. Sorry. That was off the...
Well, my wife and I had the discussion the other day about what happens to us when we die.
Oh, yeah.
And she wants to be cremated. And she goes, well, we both want to be cremated. And blah, blah. I said, wait a minute. I don't want to be cremated. I said, I've told you before, I don't want to be cremated. I want to be donated to science. Yeah. I said, if you can get $20 for me, get it. I mean, that's great.
We gotta go by and see you in one of those the human life exhibits they have where they.
Yeah, I'm good with that. I won't care.
It doesn't matter. You're dead.
No, I won't care.
Yeah. My wife has talked about there's some sort of like you can bury yourself in a mushroom bag and it just organically like.
That sounds great too. Somebody eat me.
She'll sporadically listen to this and then she'll come and tell me.
Oh no.
But she skips episodes. And so we'll wait and see if this is one of the ones she does. Because she'll be like, you're going to make me sound weird.
It's like an Easter egg.
I'm going to start. Maybe that's what I should start doing. Because I'm like, oh, did you listen? She's like, yeah, I listen. I'm going to start just peppering things in that she does not want me to tell people.
I make training videos for here, the different editors and things like that, on how to do things. And I'll always plant something in there so I can see if they really watched it or not.
That's funny.
The last one had a smoke break in the middle. It was just like you get to the middle of it and it's just a guy on the street going just hacking and it says smoke break, and then it just goes on to the rest of the video.
I will say I don't know why this always is funny to me, but we had super cold weather this last week, and where I work, like people get breaks, and so the smokers they all huddle together, and when it's super cold they just puff super quicker.
It's
just like all right, and instead of like
I remember those days,
but they'll still the dedication is what I
just remember my fondest memories of smoking, and kids don't smoke, but my fondest memories of smoking is the fact that I got 42 breaks a day. I mean that's really what it was.
All I did was
and then I lost a lung.
Well, I dipped and then I ended up quitting it, but that was just disgusting. So
that's rough.
Don't do that either, kids.
No, don't do it, kids.
This has been a word from Mike and Zach.
Use a vape like the cool guys.
Yeah. And make sure that you just get all the stuff that's not tested.
Think about that. Think about how full circle that's come, like with the vapes and stuff. And, we were all smoking to be cool. Yeah. Right? I mean, that's why anybody starts, honestly, because you know somebody who smokes or you see somebody smoking or whatever, and so you started smoking. You get addicted and all that, but it's supposed to be cool. Now you get these kids with these giant friggin' vapes and they're all puffing something that smells like bubble gum. Yeah. It's just the craziest.
It is, but I will say that that's so much different than I wish that we had vapes then though. So my dad could vape in the house and my clothes didn't smell like smoke all the time.
That's true. Mine was pipe smoke.
Oh,
my dad smoked a pipe.
He did. My dad did that for a little bit. So I got to see him do like the pipe cleaner to clean out and get it all set.
Black cherry.
Ooh.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It was gross.
Well, all right, enough talking about how tobacco use affected our childhood.
I'm not getting your slippers. All right.
So he's looking for 8 years, Richard is, for his daughter. And he finally discovers that gangster John Carver is the guy who kidnapped his daughter. Do you want to know why?
Why?
Because John Carver kidnapped Richard Stanton's daughter out of revenge because Stanton married Carver's first love. Remember the wife that died?
Yeah.
So let's think about this for a second. I'm going to kidnap Mike just to make this work for our listeners, okay? You're Richard. I'm going to play John Carver,
okay.
Right? You married the woman of my dreams. Yep. You had a kid. I'm going to get back at you by stealing that kid and forcing that woman to have and causing that woman to have a heart attack.
Wow.
What don't you think I'd feel like a piece of shit after a while, just to be like, oh, my first love, I inadvertently
you
killed.
would think, but you've also decided to kidnap someone. So you have crossed a line.
I think, you crossed that line.
You kidnapped a child too.
And then,
I mean, it's not.
Well, let's just think of what all he caused.
Yeah.
John Carver might be just a villain who knows how to get things done.
That's true.
Because in one action, he took the man's daughter, which ended up causing his wife to have a fatal heart attack, which then ended up causing this man to go crazy enough to dress up like an old woman to fight crime. So if we're talking about success rate, story. I know. If we're talking about success rate, though, John Carver's doing pretty good.
That's true. He's 1 for 1. Or 2 for 2, I guess.
But Stanton ends up. Oh, it says Stanton ends up bringing Carver to justice, but he failed to find his daughter, causing him to continue on to fight criminals as Madame Fatal. And he's assisted by, I didn't get to this part, he's assisted by his parrot named parrot named Hamlet, who will recite Shakespeare.
He's got a parrot?
Named Hamlet, who recites Shakespeare.
Come on.
And he later formed the Surefire Detective Agency with Tubby White and Scrappy Nelson.
You're just making this crap up at this point. Tubby White and Scrappy Nelson. Wow.
So, again, it only ran 22 issues.
So
people didn't care for it. I wonder why. Even in the 40s, they're like,
boy, oh boy, this is a real peach.
Yeah, well, like, and it's not even.
I love it when his old lady beats up the gangsters.
Well, there's so much, like, I just don't understand how a man in his 30s can look so convincing as an elderly woman, especially back in the 1940s when makeup is nowhere near what it is today.
Yeah, but I think we've both seen Miss Doubtfire and Tootsie. So, I mean, it is possible.
That is true.
You know?
That is true.
Yeah.
But
all you got to do is hit yourself in the face with a pie and you look like an old lady.
Yeah. So, Madame Fatal, really Richard Stanton.
Was there any sort of wrap up to this story? Or it just
They just ended up stopping it.
It just stopped.
It's here's funny. The funny thing is, like, he's been brought up randomly in DC since then, but he's like never been used again. But like, there's a scene where I'm trying to remember, I was reading about it, where like one of the the original Sandman dies.
Okay.
Or one of them. I don't know, the DC version, not the Marvel version.
Yeah, I got you.
And they're at the funeral, and one of the guys there is at the funeral talking about how everybody shows up, or not a lot of people showed up, and he goes, it's almost as sad as when Madame Fatal passed and the cast of whatever play it says we're the only ones to show up.
Oh, no. Oh my
God. He's dead in DC.
You know, this is a really good segue point. Because I feel like we've entered into the James Gunn universe now.
Oh, yeah.
Because if anybody could do a Madame Fatal
it would be James Gunn.
Would be James Gunn.
Which, while we're getting into, we teased it at the first of the show, but let's go ahead and talk about the Peacemaker TV show, because it's absolutely fantastic. The intro itself is so great.
Yeah.
You know what I love most when I watch this? Like, obviously James Gunn's great, but the way he uses music and everything.
I love the fact that this entire show is all hair metal.
Yes.
And it's real hair metal. It's not like they made it up or anything.
No.
Like when he mentions choir boys, I was like, oh, that's not a real thing. And then I looked it up. It's a real thing. It's really a thing.
Yeah. No, that's what I love, is that James Gunn gets a chance to play, I guess, some of his obscure favorite songs kind of in a way.
Yeah.
Like, it's what I've always loved about, I don't know if I've ever told you this before. I had an idea once when I was in college that I would love to find a job where I could be like a soundtrack producer for movies in a way of like finding things that worked with different, because I thought, and I still do, that music can add so much to scenes and stuff. And James Gunn is a director that gets it. And so the way he shoots like the fight scenes with the music playing underneath it, or how important it is to it, is just fantastic. Even the episode 4, which is probably more of a character building one, that montage at the end, like it's great. So he kills it with music.
So last episode we talked about Peacemaker and how I hadn't seen any of them.
Yeah.
I have since watched all 4 episodes that have been released.
Episode 5 comes out on Thursday.
It does, every Thursday. Hats off to James Gunn for not releasing all 8 at one time. Yes, it is frustrating as a viewer, but it builds and builds, and it's kind of like, you know, when people now watch The Office or people now watch through Breaking Bad or something, I think, well, you're not really getting the same experience because I had to wait weeks, if not months, to see the next episode or whatever.
You bring up Breaking Bad, and that's one of the last ones that I remember doing it with. But yeah, we had to wait week to week on AMC. And I remember when the finale came out, like we actually got a group together and we made pancakes and bacon.
Yeah.
To like, you know, we had a
52nd birthday. Yeah. It really added to the experience when you had to wait. You know, I love the fact that Netflix drops everything at once or whatever. As a viewer, a consumer of content, that's wonderful. But you can't really beat the days when you had to wait a week.
No. And the thing is too, that I think I've had this conversation with people before, is there's a certain age that you get to of, you know, people who watch TV and stuff now, to where they don't, and they might know, but I don't think they can relate to the fact that new TV shows came out the night that it came out on. And if you didn't tape it because you weren't going to be home,
that's exactly right,
or you didn't watch it, you wouldn't see it.
You were done unless it was a rerun.
Unless, you'd have to hope. But it's not like you got to pick what rerun it was.
No, you didn't.
They'd run a rerun. You have to hope it was one of the most recent episodes you missed.
And then the whole continuity of Battlestar Galactica was messed up for you.
Because I would just watch them on Sunday nights at Fox randomly and get an episode here and an episode there. Remember, I still remember, speaking of Fox, late at night when they would play, it was in syndication because obviously it was on HBO first, but when they would run the Tales from the Crypt episodes,
sure.
That the Crypt Keeper always freaked me out as a kid, but I don't know why. I just thought of that one.
Yeah, it's a weird. He was a weird puppet.
Yeah, no, for sure.
And now a word from our sponsor.
But back to Peacemaker, who has no weird puppets that we've seen yet.
Yeah, I would say that the closest you get is Eagly. His pet eagle, which again with the James Gunn thing, props, hats off, whatever. He's so good at using characters sparingly.
Yes.
When you think of Groot, when you think of Rocket Raccoon, when you think of Eagly, I mean, all of these they're in it very little, but it's all great timing, and it builds these characters as like these huge big parts of these movies when they're only in it for seconds.
Yeah, and there's even scenes that they're not involved in that they make even like the whole part where in the last episode where he's like where Mern keeps saying that which is a great last name from but where he's talking about how we need to make sure they're talking about when Vigilante goes back in jail and he's like, you convinced Peacemaker's best friend to kill his dad, and he corrects him and he's like, no, his best friend's Eagle.
That's right. Yeah, his best friend's Eagle.
There's he hugs him. I think I died laughing when she turns around, when they pick him up and Eagly flies in the back seat. Is that thing potty trained? And it was like,
you can't potty train an eagle.
Yeah, it was like that kills their soul.
That's right. Yeah.
John Cena is fantastic.
John Cena is fantastic in this, and I was talking to somebody about this the other day. He plays such a good dumb guy.
Yes, and here's what I will say. I'm sure we've talked about it before. But I am a massive wrestling fan. And so obviously I know, like even The Rock and stuff like these guys beforehand, I've seen them obviously.
Sure.
And it's two different breeds because acting in movies is obviously a lot tougher than acting or whatever you want to call I'm not trying to,
just ask Vin Diesel.
Yeah. I'm not trying to knock the craft of professional wrestling because I love it, but acting chops there compared to the next level is different.
Right, sure.
But in a scene where from the two biggest guys that have come out of the WWE system to turn into, I'll just say movie stars.
Yeah.
I can take John Cena a lot more here lately than I can The Rock.
Well, The Rock is oversaturated.
He's everywhere.
The big thing.
He's everywhere, and then it's all of these things that you hear about, like between him and Vin Diesel, where neither of them want to lose to each other. So it's stupid. Like contractually obligated, like how tough he looks in these scenes and stuff. Yeah. And I can't deal with all that. And then see John Cena, who's acting like a complete dumbass, where it's like he doesn't care.
He doesn't, yeah.
Like, and I get that obviously The Rock's to a point where he can be picky and choose.
Sure. Well, he's not very choosy. Let's put it that way, because he isn't a lot.
Yeah, and John Cena doesn't have those same options because he's not on the same level. I get that.
Sure.
But
he's getting close though, man.
It's a breath of fresh air to you hear stories of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Yeah. It's compared to that, because there is nothing. Like, we're slowly getting to points where Peacemaker's redeemable. Right. But for the longest, he's not. Like, that's not something you want to be like, hey, you're going to play a complete D-bag, and eventually, you get to that point. And John Cena's like, I'm all in for it, and basically dives headfirst into it.
Yeah, he really did. I was not a big John Cena fan as far as wrestling goes. It was past my time, really, of watching it, And
he was more for the kids.
Yeah, he was for the kids. And so I didn't have a whole lot of faith in that. I figured, he's just a Rock knockoff kind of thing. But seeing him in this, I am a huge John Cena fan now, because the guy is doing a fantastic job. And my wife, she's big. She likes these big movies, superheroes and Harry Potter and all that crap. And it's all great, but she hasn't really watched Peacemaker because she wasn't the biggest fan of the new Suicide Squad, because it's so funny and all this stuff. It's not, beat 'em up all the time. And then this one, she's like, oh my God, shut up about it, because I keep talking about it.
That's
yeah. And so I was trying to explain to her that yes, he is a big douchebag, but why at this point.
Oh yeah.
It's all explained why he's such an idiot and why he's so hard to hate.
Yeah. And then you get the backstory.
Yeah.
And then you kind of feel bad for the guy, because he's obviously chasing something with his father that he's never going to get.
And by the way, what's the guy's name that plays his father?
Robert Patrick.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
God bless that dude, because that is, you get a script delivered to you where you are a straight up 1000% racist.
Yeah.
And you go, yeah, I think I can do that. In today's climate, that's tough.
Oh yeah.
And James Gunn for writing this guy as someone you just hate. I mean, this guy is hated.
Yeah.
But he's still a strong influence in Peacemaker's life.
Yeah. It's definitely they're not. Well, I think that character is very black and white, but like Peacemaker is more
literally, because he's the white dragon.
That's true. Is it white or red?
White dragon.
White dragon.
Yeah.
There's obviously some KKK connection.
Sure,
here
a
to
little.
that.
Yeah, you think?
But
that suit is badass, by the way.
Oh, it's a cool looking suit.
I would love to see somebody in that suit.
It's a terrible villain.
It is a terrible villain, but it'd be fun to watch him get beat up.
But I think that's then part of that. You're starting to see that take a toll on him too, of him starting to realize how awful his father is as a person too.
Well, and it's a thing with kids, when people tell you that your parents are bad, you're going to be the first one to defend them.
Oh, for sure.
It's when you grow up and you realize, oh shit, maybe they are.
Yeah. And he's just having that moment now.
Yep, he really is.
We kind of get to see it.
So much depth in such a dumb show.
Exactly. And there's so much, like, you talk about the depth. There was one thing, even in the very first episode, that I was like, I don't want to say impressed that they included it, but the scene where after he's met the team kind of for the first time and he goes to the bar. Yeah. And Harcourt's there drinking by herself.
Your tits look great in that shirt, by the way.
And he's like, that's not a sexist comment, just telling the truth. But it's full of like, stuff like that where he's but no, the first time where he goes there and she's just trying to have a drink. And the guys, while they come over and like hit on her, and she's a badass and just takes them all out and then goes and sits back down again. And he's still just like trying to hit on her. And just the speech she lays into him.
Yeah.
And you're just kind of like,
Harcourt is a really good character.
Oh, she's really good.
Really is. Yeah. I don't know why she's so pissed off, but
I'm sure we'll get it.
I'm sure we're going to learn. Yeah.
Yeah, but no, it's
because from reading little stuff about the show, apparently she's going to be in a lot of other things. So, yeah, we know she doesn't die.
Okay.
Or we don't know that, I guess.
Other DC things?
Other DC things, yeah. Apparently Gunn is working on another TV show now.
Oh.
I'm really hoping it's Polka Dot Man, but we'll see.
As long as he comes back for season 2, which he said that he would if they.
Yeah.
Dude, I've wanted season 2 already. We're only halfway through. This show, it's great. I'm trying to think who else we haven't gotten into. Outside Dave is what I usually refer to as Steve Agee.
Steve Agee.
But, but he is fantastic as John O'Connor. I love him in everything he's in. Because that was his
New Girl. Yeah, I got you.
No, he's the best. I love Outside Dave.
Yeah.
And he's like, press 1 if you want a chocolate chip muffin. And he's like, shove it. Dude, he's just so great.
He's the stupidest thing
there's 2 guys that are on that show.
He was on Sarah Silverman's show, too.
Yeah, I think so. He's been on a lot of stuff. You know who Dan Harmon is? Mm-hmm. Dan Harmon has a show that's called... Great. I'm not going to be able to remember the name of it.
I think it's Rick and Morty is what you're looking for.
Yeah, and Community.
It's something else.
Yeah,
okay.
No, he has a lot of great shows out there. But no, he has an animated show where they all play D&D together.
Yeah.
I can't think of the name of it.
It's not Harmontown.
Harmon Quest.
Harmon Quest. There you go.
But Steve Agee's been on that too as a singing bard, and it's one of the best episodes of that too. Like he's just a hilarious guy. Yeah. And then I can't think of the girl's name who plays Lita Adebayo. I know she's in Orange is the New Black. But she's great in this.
She's really good in it, yeah. And to find out that she's what's her name's daughter?
Amanda Waller's daughter. That's
Waller's
big.
Daughter, yeah.
So it's great. Vigilante's absolutely hilarious.
Vigilante, one of the best parts of I guess it's episode 1 when he finds out that Peacemaker has been he's out. He goes into the alleyway.
Yes.
And he's kind of self-celebrating, oh yeah, Peacemaker's out. Blah, blah. And some guy comes out that he works with and says, hey, and he's like, oh, sorry, I just found out my girlfriend's pregnant. That's why he's so excited.
Yeah,
he goes, oh, you got a girlfriend? Well, then why do you keep having me trying to get me to set you up with my cousin?
Yeah.
He's like, oh, well, it's not a for sure thing, but you're happy that she's pregnant. Oh, we're getting an abortion.
Yeah, happy so we can get an abortion.
He goes, you're welcome to come. He goes, dude, I'm not coming to your abortion. It's just
it was so good.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
Oh, there's so many great lines in there. I'm not coming to your abortion.
Yikes.
My brother told me there's 2 kinds of there's so many quotables from this that's so great. Both conversations we've seen so far between Peacemaker and his dad's neighbor are hilarious. Yeah. Also, and I'm just, this is a not safe for work warning for the next 30 seconds because I'm going to quote him on here, but I just think it's hilarious. Is when he's about to get out of the hospital.
He's talking to the janitor.
And he's talking to the janitor. And he's like, I'm a real hero. And he's like, what's your name? And he goes, Peacemaker. I ain't heard of you. Aquaman. That's a real hero. And he goes, what are you talking about? Aquaman fucks fish. And he's like, what? He's like, yeah. But then he goes, would Froggy273 lie to me on Twitter?
Pepe
the Frog.
Pepe the Frog 273 or
lie
whatever.
To me on Twitter. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, he says he's got a buddy that for $50 he lets Aquaman go back there and have his way with the sturgeon or whatever.
He's just it's so great.
One of the other things in episode 1 is him sneaking out of the hospital and there's nobody chasing him.
Yes.
He gets in the car and he's like, yeah,
but
all right.
Still,
and there's nobody. There's nothing,
Oh man.
And he lives in a red, white, and blue trailer.
That was
just so good.
Hey, are you crying? No, I'm doing face exercises.
Yeah.
That's why you have such a skinny, pathetic face. Or, well, speaking of that, I'll leave it with this because I don't want to ruin everything with the show.
Sure.
But when Vigilante goes into the prison, they take his mugshot and he keeps trying to change his face.
He goes, that way he can't identify me. He cuts off his toe.
Oh, he yells at him. He's like, why did you use such a dull knife?
So very good. Yeah. I look forward to these coming out, man. This is one of those things where I stay up late while everybody else is in bed.
Oh, for sure.
It's just my wife.
Same, man. Well, same here. But if you have the chance.
All right. Here's what I want, though. Last thing. Let's talk about our theories.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So what are the butterflies and what do you think's going on there? Because we found out that, and again, spoiler alert, but we found out that the guy running this team is a butterfly. Yeah.
I don't know fully what they are yet.
Yeah.
I do think that potentially.
And why did Peacemaker lie about
getting rid of it
and keeping it in a jar?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which I was so afraid during his, drunken high cry fest at the end that it was going to get out. But I think, and I have a theory, and I could be completely wrong, unless that's the beauty of theories.
Sure.
Is that Myrn might be, obviously either he's like infiltrated in somehow, or I think the opposite could be is that maybe somehow he's a good butterfly.
Yeah, that's where I think we're closer. I think there's good ones and bad ones.
Yeah, and I think that because obviously even though they get to that point where it looks like their eyes glaze over and they the guy who was the butterfly torturing them seemed to be able to do whatever he had his own thing that he ran still.
Yeah.
So I don't know if the butterfly is like controlling Myrn's mind. He's just trying to fit in, or if it's one of those where he's a good thing. I think obviously, I think we're going to get a showdown. I don't know if it's going to be here at this season or if it's going to be later. I think we're going to get conflict, obviously, directly between Peacemaker and his father.
Yeah.
In some way, shape, or form. Yeah. And I think because he's a racist POS, it'll probably be something to do with Adebayo.
Yeah, I would imagine. Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
And that they're...
Well, I mean, he's already called the Asian girl chopsticks or whatever. Yeah.
But they're already... I feel like there's a friendship building. Like, they've kind of planted that foundation from the beginning when Vigilante told them that none of them were best friend material. Right. I think that she's the one.
I told you they weren't best friend material.
Because she constantly, even to the others, kind of sticks up for him. Yeah. And so I think that there's a bond that develops between the two of them. And so that could lead, if his dad does something to her, that could lead to a new kind of
There's also a thing with Waller. Waller has a thing for Peacemaker. She knows something that other people don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what
Peacemaker.
That is,
yeah, I don't either. But it's going to be fun to find out. Now, I do. If there's one thing that I'm still questioning, it's that room that opens up into a quantum space where where the racist POS makes helmets for Peacemaker.
Yeah,
I need more information, please. Because I need to know how that happened, what happened. I also want to know what happened with White Dragon. Why did he stop being White Dragon? Because obviously he can still defend himself and stuff. I need some more backstory.
I'm sure we'll get it.
Oh, yeah. No. I'm sure we will. That's what I'm wanting
because they don't explain too much of it.
Yeah. I want these backstories. And the fact that episode 4 goes into a little more of what a piece of crap this guy is and how he treated Peacemaker as a kid and how his brother died. I still want to know how that happened.
Because I'm assuming that's whose death we saw at the end.
Yeah, with the foam in the mouth and all that stuff. Yeah, it just good job, James.
Oh, for sure. Because you took a character who at the beginning of this is just a dumb guy that you laugh at to where you actually kind of care for what he's going through this time. It's great. Also, the latest episode, you can, know how great the show is just by looking at the show titles because it was called A Chode Less Traveled. Maybe I'm a grower, not a shower.
That's
Dad.
right. That's it.
Are you comparing yourself to a dick? No, as a person.
As a person. Yeah.
Oh man, that show is great. So,
I'm really, really impressed. And if I didn't already pay for HBO Max, I would.
Yeah. Oh, same here. I think this is one of those that I might be able to go back and rewatch.
Oh,
too.
I will. Yeah.
It's just that funny.
Absolutely, I will. Yeah. Because when I know the entire arc, then I want to go back and watch it from beginning to end. So I do like the let's release them a week at a time, but when they're all out, I will often go back and just watch it in one big thing. Yeah.
So if you've listened to, we've come down to the end of the episode. If you've learned 2 things from this episode today, it's 1, don't waste your time reading Madame Fatal comics. We already told you the ridiculousness of that. Right. 2, do go watch Peacemaker.
Oh, please do.
Because it's absolutely fantastic.
Welcome to our Peacemaker podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's just nothing else out there like it.
No, not at all. And it's great to have. And the beauty of it is too, I'm trying to count month wise, is it'll get me through February to Batman.
Yep, that's true.
Which the runtime, I'll just add some news at the end because it's comic news.
Sure, please.
You saw that the rating dropped for it.
No, is it R?
PG-13.
PG-13. Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah.
Which makes sense because obviously with a movie and a property like that,
yeah, I understand.
That's such a big IP.
Sure.
You want as many people to see it as possible. Runtime?
PG-13s are not what they used to be, though.
No.
Also, there's a little bit more allowed in PG-13.
Yeah, because all of the Nolan Batmans were PG-13.
Yeah, and if it's scary like they're saying, then that's fine. I mean, I'm good.
Runtime?
Yeah, like 3 hours. Right?
2 hours and 56 minutes. It's the longest standalone Batman movie.
Yeah. Okay.
But I'm holding out hope because the first screenings that came out.
Yeah.
That I read, the thing where everybody loved it,
Mm-hmm.
they talked about it's basically a 3-hour movie.
Yeah.
So that makes me think that maybe they didn't cut much, hopefully.
Yeah. I'm excited for it.
I got to play positive. So.
Let me go back to one thing since we're doing news.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm an idiot, but I'm getting a little amped for Black Adam.
I
don't know why.
I can tell you why I'm not. We already kind of discussed it because I'm over The Rock.
Yeah. But I keep hearing things about this thing's going to be in it, that thing's going to be in it. It seems like James Gunn is kind of dropping some stuff about it too. Like, I don't know if you saw, but there's an Easter egg where, by the way, Peacemaker, what's up with the gorilla getting out of the zoo?
Oh, I saw that.
That's going to be a big
deal. Do
deal.
you think it's Grodd?
That's I hope so. But that's going to be a thing, right?
Yeah.
So the gorilla gets out, and then there's a cop there reading the newspaper, and on the newspaper, it references the kingdom that Black Adam protects.
Oh, okay. I missed that.
And so it's literally on the front of that newspaper. I didn't see it. I had to, these Easter egg things that people release.
That's another thing is the Easter eggs of just references to other characters too is fantastic. We got a Matter Eater Lad reference in the last episode too.
Matter Eater Lad. Yeah, I had to look that up to make sure it was a real thing.
Oh, see, I've thought about doing him for the podcast before.
Yeah, we should at this point.
So when he did that was hilarious. I saw him eat a Wendy's. He ate at Wendy's? No, dude, he ate a whole fucking Wendy's.
Wendy's. That's right. Yeah. No, I love the fact that they reference all the
they do.
Good superheroes. Batman gets a skewering.
Apparently Superman does too eventually.
Oh, I don't doubt that.
Because I read the quote where what he says about Batman in this one. Apparently DC pushed back a little bit on, and he was like,
they probably should have.
Yeah, I'm not changing it.
But nobody ever goes after Batman as far as this goes.
He brought up the Aquaman part from episode 1, and he brought up something else from Superman that I haven't heard yet. He goes that he thought that they would, but they didn't. It was the Batman line that got him.
Dude, if it is Grodd, then God bless James Gunn even more than you ever have.
I guess. All
you got to do is put a computer on his head.
Well, no, he can do that because I was thinking they've had Grodd in the Flash TV shows, but with DC, their TV shows like that aren't related.
No.
So I guess Peacemaker, this is where it's confusing with DC. I guess Peacemaker technically follows in the cinematic universe.
Yeah.
So we could be introduced to Grodd, the new Grodd.
Right.
So I guess it's something there.
Maybe the new series he's working on is like DC villains.
That would be cool.
That would be fantastic. Yeah.
Oh, so I did see, because other DC properties are getting in on the Peacemaker love. And I thought this was great. Have you watched any of the Harley Quinn animated show?
No.
It's absolutely fantastic
really?
too. Yeah. I know that you're probably,
it's a little more adult, right?
Very much so.
Really? Okay.
Oh, Bane is the funniest in it to me, but it is very the same way. It's, a heavy adult show.
Yeah.
But hilarious.
What's it on?
It's on HBO Max.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe I'll watch it.
Kaylee Cuoco from Big Bang Theory voices.
I knew she was doing it. Yeah.
But no, it's great. But somebody posted a picture from the show, from the Harley Quinn show, of her standing next to Batman, and then somebody drew like a new kind of it of her standing next to Peacemaker, since technically they're both in the show. Twitter copied it and tweeted back, looks like I have a hobby of standing next to people who've been emotionally crippled by their parents.
Oh, that's fantastic. Yeah. That's really great.
Yeah. So it's
well, shoot. Yeah. Now I got to go watch a freaking cartoon. Dang
dude,
it.
it's worth it though.
So I was let me just finish one thing on the Black Adam thing. Before any of the James Gunn DC stuff, I thought Shazam was their best movie.
Yes.
I really did.
Same.
It's because it's so much fun. It's just a fun friggin' movie. It's fun to watch. What's his name? What's the guy?
Zach Levi?
Yeah. What was that show?
Chuck. I love Chuck, man.
Chuck was great.
Chuck was my jam.
I thought he was like 80 years old at this point, but he did such a good job.
Well, you know,
in Shazam.
he
It's so good.
He played Kurt Warner in the latest Kurt Warner
Man, shut up.
documentary. Just saying.
It came full circle. We started with football, we end with football.
Exactly.
No, it's the Shazam connection that gets me, and it's because Shazam was always such a goofy character, right?
Yeah.
If you can take him and turn him into somebody that I like, I am super happy with that.
I think why I like Shazam out of
and
the
it was
rest,
done for like no money, too.
Yeah. But
because they couldn't even afford to get Superman in it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I think the reason I like Shazam is because everything else at the time had such a dark tone.
Yeah.
And it was like meant as like a family superhero movie in a way. And it was just a nice refresh.
I understand that everybody loves Wonder Woman, and it was a good movie. That first one was really good.
I didn't really like the second one that much.
Butt.
Yeah.
But the first one was excellent.
Mm-hmm.
And it was such a mood change, right? From what they had been doing with the goofy Supermans and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
But Shazam, it was a family-friendly, fun superhero thing that hardly anybody knows about anymore. I mean, you never hear anybody talk about Shazam until that movie came out.
Let's not forget he was Mr. Marvel at one point in time.
That's right. And then you get the kids that are all Shazamites or whatever you want to call them.
Helen Mirren is in the freaking
good.
sequel of the Shazam movie.
Yeah. So that's why I'm looking forward to the Black Adam thing. I think it could be very cool where you got this really bad guy. Now you've got cool Shazam, and you know, I don't know. Maybe I'm an idiot, and maybe it turns out to be a piece of crap.
It could be, but it
the
does.
first Shazam was excellent.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
So,
Nah,
but
you're good.
until next week, everybody stay safe.
Got it, gun.
Frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about frozen heroes. Gonna tell you about. This has been a Rogue Media podcast.